Hi there, this is Mr. Evans with a video on just-in-time production. It's a form of lean production. So just-in-time is a stock management system focused on minimising the level of raw materials and finished products held by the business. In other words, just-in-time, we want to get rid of too many raw materials and finished products. In fact, in the true just-in-time production system, we get rid of all raw materials, all finished products. It's that pull method of manufacture that I was speaking about in the last video. So we make products to order. The consumer makes the order, that triggers us to make the product, and what we need to do is then we order the sufficient supplies from our suppliers to be able to make that. We haven't got the supplies just there ready to make the product, but we only have enough supplies to fulfill orders that have already been made. This is going to allow us, or this is going to require us to build excellent relationships and strong communication systems with our suppliers. We can't be jumping around from supplier to supplier if we're using just-in-time production. We need to be able to communicate with them very well. They effectively are holding our stock for us, which helps to minimise our cost, but obviously incurs a cost to them. So we need to make sure that we keep our suppliers on side. We're reliant on them to make this work. We also need to make sure the manufacturing process and the finished goods are of the highest quality. We don't have spare stock hanging around. If we make a mistake on the production line, we may have to scrap the product and start over again. Or if the consumer's not happy with the final good, if there's faults in it, we're going to have to produce another one from scratch. So quality is going to be very important in a just-in-time production system. So what are the advantages? Well, the main advantage is that we don't have to store so many raw materials, which could cut down on our security costs, for example, if they are valuable raw materials. Alternatively, we may have perishable raw materials which need to be kept in a fridge, for example. We wouldn't need to do that anymore, so we could cut the cost of our storage in that way. It requires the development of long-term supplier relationships. Long-term supplier relationships can be beneficial for a business. It's an advantage of just-in-time. If we've developed a long-term relationship with the supplier, they're likely to be more flexible in terms of payment terms and so on. So running this system means that you develop a close relationship with the supplier, and there are advantages to be had for that. There's less chance of your stock becoming obsolete or out of date. In fact, you should be able to sell every single thing that you manufacture, hence why this is a method of lean production. We're reducing waste. We shouldn't be wasting any products at all. It's an incentive to improve the quality of our products. We have to get it right first time. And products can be customised for each order. So we haven't made the product yet. If it's a car, for example, that we're manufacturing, the consumer will be able to specify that they want leather seats, that they want air conditioning, that they want 6-speed gearbox. They can design the car as they want, and then we make it. So we should be able to sell it to the consumer for a decent price because they've designed it. And they should be highly satisfied with the final product because it's been tailor-made for them. However, there are disadvantages as well. If there's a unforeseen change in demand, i.e. suddenly a load of people want your product, it may be very difficult to respond to that. We don't have any suppliers, we're relying on the supplier to supply for us. And it's unlikely we'll be able to respond quickly. The method is reliant on suppliers. We need to maintain relationships. If something goes wrong at our supplier's place, then it can be very damaging for our brand. I seem to remember that after the Japanese tsunami a few years ago, it was Honda, I think, who had trouble sourcing brakes because their brake supplier had been damaged in the storm. So, unforeseen circumstances like that can have a big impact. There could be damage to the brand if we can't meet customers' orders. There's little time to correct mistakes. Bulk buying of materials, negotiating a discount for buying a huge quantity of materials will be very difficult. We're not buying huge quantities of materials, and the customer might experience a waiting time of anything up to six weeks, 2 months for a product like a car, which may be frustrating, and the customer may choose to buy a model that isn't custom made, but they can drive off the drive out of the showroom on that day. So, just-in-time production in an exam. Look out for signs that if a business is thinking about implementing just-in-time production, think about it's going to need to have good relationships with suppliers. Think about the sort of customers that it might have. Those willing to pay a high price. Think about the advantages they may receive in terms of eliminating the costs of stock, etc. And of course, the quality being an important part of it. They're going to have employees that are able to deliver a high quality product. So that's just-in-time production. I will go over Kaizen as well, which is another lean production philosophy in the next video.